Another Thursday, another L2S race. This is Book 3, Chapter 5. Welcome to Season 3, race number 5, here in Les Castellets in France. We are here in a bit of a special evening. First of all, I want to say that I will do my very best. I am a bit side affected from my COVID vaccine shot that I received just a bit more than 24 hours ago, and I was struggling a bit with it all day long, but I will do my very best to pull through and to deliver a broadcast of a decent quality that L2S deserves. And second, the main reason why I definitely want to pull it through here tonight, no matter how I feel, because this is a very sad thing. By the looks of things, how things stand right now, this sadly will be my farewell evening, my goodbye evening for L2S with Germany, my homeland, digging out of the lockdowns. I have some real life commitments that return towards the surface, and by the looks of things, it's looking like that I will have to schedule my Thursday evenings with some commitments that I had already before COVID, and at least over the summer month, who knows what the autumn will bring, and who knows if L2S will need me again. As far as I know, King Eskimo, our Tier 2 driver, will take over, and I'm pretty sure he is a good broadcaster, so maybe there is not even a need. But anyway, thank you, L2S community, for having me so long, almost 9 months. Incredible how time flies. I did not miss a Thursday without L2S since Christmas, and it was a pleasure for me to be with you. I just want to state that here already in my opening words. Anyway, we still have a race event ahead of us. We will have a 18 minutes qualifying, followed by a 50% race distance, that is 27 laps. We have just seen the Tier 2 racing here in Les Castellets. The pole time was posted by PR Oliver or Per Oliver with a 1:28.1, and he was the same driver. No one else won in the end. It was Per Oliver, the only driver without a penalty. That is a big topic here in Les Castellets. We race with strict corner cuts and full rules and flags, safety car, VSC, all that is on. And speaking about strict corner cuts, that is a big topic here in Les Castellets, because there are multiple turns that can be cut, plus a ton of track limits that can be exceeded. So that is something we really have to have a close eye on here tonight. I am seeing that chat box is filling. That's pretty cool. Hello and good evening to all of you boys in the chat box. Johnny Cox is already here. Johnny, I'm very happy that you are here. Just a bit sad that you enter L2S right when I leave it. We know us from a formerly called the Red Line Racing community, and I know how fast Johnny Cox can be. Further, Serious Mushroom, he has checked in. Hello to you. I hope that you are in the lobby too. Let's scoot through a little bit. Yes, there he is. The toad, the mushroom. And yes, Proliver, congratulations to your victory. Was a decent showing, and the only driver who was able to go through the 27 laps without taking a 3 seconds penalty. This is the track, 15 turns, 5.8 kilometers of length, lap record 1:32.7. We already blasted it by 3.5 seconds in Tier 2. I suppose that we will exceed that in Tier 1 even more. It definitely is a high-speed track. There are A lot of flat out zones, especially the long back straight, just interrupted by a 3-turn chicane, plus the start finish straight and some fast and medium pace turns, then plus of course the Hermann Tilke typical unrhythmic medium and fast paced turns. After the long back straight, the turn 10, you see this big long hairpin on the right end. That is very hard to take, especially if it's rainy. And yes, rain can be a topic too. I have already seen a handful of races here in Le Castellet with pouring rain, totally wet conditions, and this could be a topic tonight. Let's have a look how things will go down weather-wise. So it is 2 minutes. We are 2 minutes delayed already. Let's have a short look what the background chat says. Johnny Cox, yes, he made it into the lobby. Yes, seen him already. And there is a new driver, Othniel91. New names every week, and that is a good thing. L2S community grows, and this new driver has a little bit of an internet connection problem. That is what I read from the words from our host Dean Cunha. So the session is delayed a little bit, 1 or 2 minutes more of delay, I suppose. So I will be back with you then as soon as we travel towards southern France in Le Castellet. And off we go. Here we are with our new driver who has checked in. Now he's here and inside in the lobby. And with these pictures we head towards southern France. By the way, just 2 hours away, 2-hour car ride away from Monaco. Bit a stupid thing in my mind that in real life in the real world race calendar, we would travel from Monaco to Baku, then to Montreal, and then back to a place that is just 2 hours away from Monaco. But okay, that's how things are. And ironically, last year and this year, it would have been the same schedule, but yeah, not in 1 year it really occurred that way then, due to some cancellations, reschedulations, and all the other crazy COVID stuff. And here we are in the pit lane. It looks dry. Not very sunny, not very warm actually. Doesn't have to be too sunny, doesn't have to be too warm, but I suppose that everyone will just be happy that it is dry. I'm having a look into our telemetry tool, and air temperature 19 degrees, track temperature 27, so a bit cool, but everything's fine as long as it's dry. So who is the first one to leave the garage? We have seen the first car, now it's 2 on the track. Let's get in some information. The first one is this man, BMC RB33. Obvious Max Verstappen fan. So like always, I'm staying on track with the first driver who went out of his garage. And yeah, until then, maybe let's have a short look what we learned from Tier 2. Some of the Tier 1 drivers are watching the Tier 2 to get a glimpse strategy-wise and what to do, what rather not to do. And in this special case, we got to say that a one-stop strategy, yellow to white, was definitely the fastest one in the Tier 2 race. You cannot go red to white on a one-stop, you just can't make it. The reds are just too soft, degrading, especially right in this long hairpin. The front left degrades just too much, too easily, too fast. And so if you qualify into the top 10, you will probably have to do so wearing softs, just like BMC does already here in his first shot. And then you cannot have a one-stop. You will get caught up from medium to hard runners, and you have to fight your way back. So this is the most stupid pit exit in my mind. I had multiple events already with pit lane exit crashes there, while we are here now in the fast-paced turns at the end of sector 1. This is more or less the slowest phase of the turn of the track, end of sector 1, and now out on the long flat out straight, big and long DRS zone. That will be a big topic later in the race in case it is dry. The long straight interrupted here by a 1, 2, 3 turn chicane, and then another stretch of full speed flat out. And then you can, yes you can, just listen to him, to his engine. You can take this turn 9 in full throttle mode. Turn 10 you have to brake a bit, and then some rhythmic and unrhythmic plays where you have to lift a little bit, brake once, lift again, and the last 2 turn combination here. And this is a lap on Le Castellet, and BMC has posted a 129.0, 9/10 slower than Proliver. Maybe just something like a safety or security lap. Not a bad one, but I suppose not competitive either. So he will get caught up by a few drivers who will post lap times in the next few minutes. And yeah, sometimes, especially on this track, it's not about being entirely the fastest. Sometimes you just have to go through clean without getting a lap time deleted. And the next one who did it, our pole king from last year's Tier 2. No one else but Mr. Riyad Sudin. He has struck again, already 4/10 faster than Proliver of Tier 2. So let's have a look. A few times incoming now. Official already had one deleted. Chappie either. Our new boy DRS Neil 2 and Sergeant and Slayer. So a lot of drivers who had their first hot lap deleted. Yeah, Riyad Sudin. No one else but Mr. Riyad Sudin is our overall leader. He was inactive for the first two races, but this man is just so viciously quick. He returned for race 3 and 4, won both of them, and all of a sudden he is our new leader in the overall classification because the drivers around him are so inconsistently points scoring, maybe even inconsistently active. So some drivers, maybe like David Dichoel comes to my mind. He would have had quite a good chance for a championship run, but he is inactive tonight again. I think second race in a row that he is inactive, and yeah, he will then allow this man to run away with the lead, maybe. Riyad Sudin is the leader, and the second man in the classification is Anand Tanki, the Slayer, who has seen his first lap being deleted, but he's staying out. Second lap got deleted too. He is still out there. Not sure if that's a good idea, because in case this now will be his hot lap, then he will have to start the race on softs that are already 3 laps old, plus in, plus out, so actually 5 laps old softs. And if he has to start on this set, that would mean that he'll have to come into the pits something like in lap 3 or so. And I hardly believe that that can be a good and working strategy. But we'll see what will happen. Yes, Riyad Sudin, the leader. Then Slayer in second in the overall standings. Third then is Official. Slayer has only 11 points of gap behind of Riyad Sudin. Official is minus 14. Then we see BMC, who is active tonight. BMC with minus 14 as well. David Dichoel, minus 15, he's inactive. And in fifth is Simwi with minus 16. So the leader is 11 points away, okay, but the follow-ups, the following 4 drivers are all within 5 points. So it's really, really close and tight in the hunt. In the hunt of Riyad Sudin, and Slayer now has aborted his lap. Maybe he listened to me, I don't know. But he is, where is he? Oh, he's starting out again, so yet another lap on his softs. Maybe he's just using this as some kind of a practice. Oh, there you saw some yellow car coming out of the pit lane and almost got a little bit too close to Slayer. Let's have a look in our telemetry tool. Riyad Sudin is leading, that we know already. He has Sector 1 and Sector 2 purple, but Sector 3 belongs to Simwi. And Simwi is on his outlap again. Let's have a look about maybe this man. Very unique lane. How Bellox is using his outlap. And he returns to the pits. Next one to watch, maybe Mr. Sargent, he's trying on mediums, but he is not trying because he has invalidated the lap time. You can see the red minimap on the right hand side of the screen. And the next one who tries on mediums in a yellow, white, black car, looks like a bit of building site. This is Mr. Infamous, Mohammed Hassan, one of the admins. He had a great race 2 weeks ago in Spain. Sadly ended the race in a crash in the wall. Let's see what he can do here on a set of mediums. I'm having a look into the telemetry. Infamous first sector was a 22.1. And that was, 4/5 slower than Real Sudin. That's actually not too bad, but you cannot win or lose a lot in Sector 1. And Sector 2, he posted a 27.6. And that is 8/10 then slower than Real Sudin. So, yeah, he should be, I would like to suppose, somewhere around the other admin, Dean Cunha. So, P10 plus minus. We'll see in just a moment where the clock will stop for him. Yeah, P11. P11 because Cunha just improved his lap time. He jumped up and into P7. Mr. Cunha, our host for tonight. So, yeah, the lap time from Mohammed wasn't bad, but not competitive either. I doubt that he will let it stay. I suppose that he'll return to the pits, mount a fresh set of softs, and will try again then, while we see Simwi inching closer to Riyad Sudin. Simwi 2/10 behind that Sudin. And the next one who tried a first shot on mediums, that is this man again, Jason Sargent. Just, a bit lucky that he isn't a soldier, because Sergeant would sound a bit strange. But okay. I don't think that he'll stay with this lap time too. I suppose for him the same as for Infamous. He'll return to the pits, mount a fresh set of softs, and then we'll try again. On a hot lap at the moment is maybe Mr. Landobot. No, he is not. Lap time already deleted. And he returns to his pit crew. On a hot lap, maybe at the moment is only Ballox. Yes, he is running on softs, but only 5 minutes left. So I'm not sure if it's a good idea to go through on this lap. Let's have a look where he will be ranked at the end of Sector 2. It doesn't look so good, I would like to say. 22.5 in the first, that's 8/10 slower. And 27.4, yeah, he's 1.5, almost 2 seconds already by now slower than Riyad Sudin. So, with the clock ticking down, I would not recommend for him to end this lap. Well, okay, but he does. Frenzy now on a hot lap 2. Frenzy, this will be his final and only shot. Yeah, Bellox 2.2 seconds slower, so he might already be finished. He might already be done for the quali. Here is Casto France. Yeah, you read it in the name. It's more or less his home Grand Prix. He is improving by 4 tenths here in Sector 2. That is not bad, but as he is already 2.4 seconds behind Riyad Sudin, he has to find a lot more time. And he is on the track on a bad timing. He will not have another shot if he finishes this lap. And Castro France will be... Oh, P6. Wow, he found 1.6 seconds just in the last sector. So obviously he knew that there was some big trouble, some big problem in his hot lap time from earlier. Yeah, and he's intensely cutting corners, trying to get home as fast as possible, because you know that he needs to hurry now if he wants to have another shot. Oh, and meanwhile, have a look. We have a new P2. DRS Neil. That's our new man. Yeah, DRS. He will have some DRS fun here on this track tonight. Mr. Neil, just 1/10 behind Rayat Sudin. Ooh, could that be really true? Could there really be a competitor to our pole king, Rayat Sudin? There is one with Chris Tam, but he sadly is inactive. Once again, I was so looking forward for the battle Sudin versus Tam here in this season, but we have more or less never seen this battle really occur on the track. While we see Slayer on his final shot, and he is doing it on mediums. So I am somehow sure that he watched the Tier 2 and he is very convinced that sacrificing track position can be a good thing here in France. If you can start on mediums, then he will not get into the top 10. I predict that already by now. Nope, P13. He's the fastest of the mediums, but still 2 seconds behind Mr. Tsudin. So he is finished. Anand Tanki is starting in P13 maximally, but then he'll have a free option of tire, and that is probably what he was aiming at. And the top 5 are all on out laps right now. Let's have a short look at Landabot maybe before we get into the hectic last moments of the qualifying. Landabot will finish the lap in just 2 or 3 turns from now. Behind him, Cunha and BMC are on hot laps too. Rayat Sudin now just started his next hot lap. And Landabot does improve, but does not jump ahead somewhere. So, first look, Rayat Sudin. First question, can he push the limits even a bit further? Can he improve his stellar lap time a little bit more? Yes, he can. He is 2/10 ahead of his formerly posted lap time. The next, I think it was Johnny Cox, who should come to the end of Sector 1 next. Oh, even 4/10 of improvement. Okay. And then I'm not sure who's next. Simvi is already in Sector 2. DRS Neil. Let's first have a look at Rayat Sudin, what he is doing. He is improving by 3/10 now at the end of Sector 2. This could be another really hot time from the Sudin. Time has ticked down. Everyone is allowed to finish the going lap, of course. Official pushing up and into 4th, or at least improving himself a little bit in P4, but he might get overtaken by Johnny Cox, I think. First, all eyes on the clock for Mr. Tsudin, and where will the clock time stop for him? 1:27.2. Wow, congratulations to him. Who is next? I think it's Johnny Cox. And Mr. Cox up and into P2. Not good enough to attack Tsudin, but at least second. Simwi now third, and DRS Neil, is not officially finished, but actually he is, because he has an invalid lap time. Let's have a short look at our admin Chappie. He is probably the last one to cross the line, and Chappie is up into P8, 1.4 seconds behind Rayat Sudin, but not bad. Dean Cunha once again is a bit bad luck here on his P10. because Cunha now is the last driver who must start on this set of softs, and I mentioned it, that will be a big disadvantage. And I remember that Cunha had this situation already a few times here in this season. So, yes, hello Kaloum, I watched you just a few hours ago racing in Tier 2, good job. And yeah, you said it just again what I mentioned a bit earlier, because medium to hard is the fastest strategy. 6 seconds you say, yep, I definitely believe it. As long as there is no safety car interfering, of course. And yeah, probably you saw it right, 1:27.2. Here it is again, our starting grid. Reazurin did it again. What a massive time. In second, our newcomer, Jonathan Cox, just next to Reazurin. Third, Simbi. Fourth, the next newcomer, DRS Neil. Fifth is Official. 6, Castor France. 7, BMC. 8, Chappie. 9th, Landabot. 10th, Dean Cunha. 11, Aces versus Kings. 12, Sergeant. 13, Infamous. P14, Slayer. 15, Velox. 16, Serious Mushroom. And no time set once again for Frenzy. I think that is, except my goodbye phrase, the one sentence I said as often as nothing else. No time set for Frenzy. So here we are. This is the weather for the race event. It looks sunny, fair weather, and the drivers have half a minute of time to get the setup worked into the game, and I will be back with you in a moment. So here we are in our parade lap. Welcome Thomas Walsh to the chat box. I hope you are still with us. Tom Walsh, one of the best drivers of the other league that I work with regularly. Just by yesterday, he won in Sochi, so nice to have you here on Thursday evening now too. At least just for tonight, because sadly, by the looks of things, I cannot continue broadcasting Thursday nights. But okay, let's focus on what is important here for the moment. First look goes out to the weather and then to the tires, and just as expected, top 10 have to start on softs of cars, and then as soon as we hit P11, Aces versus Kings, we see just one color, that is yellow, yellow, yellow. And Frenzy in P17, he opted to start on hards. The regular my regular watchers, if there are some fans or something like that out there, know that I don't like to start on hards because you lose so much grip compared to the medium and soft runners around you, and further, you just cannot have an early front wing damage because you have just one set of hards and you need to make it last very, very long, and you cannot make it last long if you have a pit stop in the first few laps. So I try to have a first glimpse in our telemetry tool if we have Yeah, no data provided yet. That will come then, I think, slash hope, as soon as the game switches to lap 1. I wanted to have a look at the tire situation for the soft starters pre-race, but I cannot by now. But I will do so very, very soon. And now our drivers get into their each starting box. Rayatsuji in the first, of course. Johnny Cox, what can he do? First race for L2S and already up into the front row. What can he bring? So the 5 red lights, we can't see them but we hear them. And then the French Grand Prix in Le Castellet. Here we go, go, go. Good start from Riyad Suddin. But Simwi and official too. Some ghosting there into turn 1. Bad timing for ghosting. Oh, and Chappie had a big moment there. Just caught his car. Just stayed on track somehow. But the rest of the field went through it rather smoothly, I suppose. I would like to say there was no big incident. Didn't see any debris flying off either. And the track allows it to run wide in case of emergency. Dean Cunha on P9. We will analyze the start as soon as we are in the real lap 3. And for the moment, let's have a look in the telemetry tool. We see Rayad Sudin with 19% of tire drag. Sadly, a handful of drivers haven't opened up their telemetry tool. Mostly the 2 new boys, Johnny Cox and Neil. Okay, so that's a bit sad, but can happen when you join a new league. Oh, yellow in sector 3, already vanished. No big issue there. Let's see if someone will turn towards the pits here in the first lap. I don't trust the table yet. We all know about these early moments of chaos from the game. Nevertheless, Landobot just overtook BMC here. And let's just pretend like the table is correct. That would mean that the top 2 did not swap any positions. The S Neil +1 swapped it with minus Sim V1. Yeah, a handful of swaps, +1, -1, and something like that. There is actually no big winner of the start, I would like to say. We only have 2 losers. I think that is Chappie. We saw him. He had a big wiggle moment. He just caught his car. That caused him to drop 4 positions. The first penalty is being handed out to Official, our champion from Season 1. Yeah, and another loser of the start was Sargent with a -4. And yeah, the rest, I suppose, is just now getting into rhythm, getting into a sync, and try to be as soft on your tires as you can be. The RS will be activated now. Not opened yet, but the next time on the long straight it will be open. And have a look. Johnny Cox can match the pace of Rayad Sudin. That is maybe a bit of a new feeling for him. That is maybe something that he is not used to. Usually Rayad Sudin is just a fast in the pole, in the quali, starts on pole and then just runs away from everyone. But not tonight, and we will have a big DRS train. So this is filmed to us, brought to us from the camera angle of Simwi. Behind him, Castor France is in the DRS zone, but a little bit further away. And then ahead of him, everyone is indirectly in the DRS window of Rayad Sudin, and this could be very But this could get very, very messy for the Tsudin very soon. Yeah, I was just reading through the chat box messages, especially Thomas Walsh from yesterday. Thanks for answering. Thanks for answering me now in this way. I was just scratching my head why you opted for another set of softs. I was just thinking, okay, come on, man, you know the tire rule. You have to drive another set. And then the rain came in very, very late, and that was your big moment. So yeah, congratulations again to a great race in Sochi yesterday. And yeah, Sochi and Le Castellet have a few parallels, I would like to say. The biggest thing, of course, is the biggest that you can cut corners so well and exceed track limits very well. But in France, the walls are very, very far away. And so this is maybe already now, no, not yet. Johnny Cox getting closer, but not entirely in attacking mode against Tsudin. The tires of Tsudin are already almost done, while we see Cox here and maneuver in the long hairpin on the outside, but no chance for it. Johnny Cox is really sitting in his gearbox now. Next DRS zone is the start-finish straight. Real Tsudin's tires already 52% of degradation, especially front left. So maybe just 1 or 2 more laps for Tsudin, and Cox probably the same. Sadly, he didn't share the telemetry, so I cannot tell you the exact numbers. And this is the attack for the lead change. It is. Can he pull it through? Yes, he did. We have a lead change. And a penalty for Johnny Cox. And now all this is brought to us from the view of Neil, who is sitting behind them and just watches them. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's just wait and see what they will do. And ahead, the lead change back to Tsudin. So yeah, this could go like this for a bunch of laps now. Back and forth, back and forth. And Neil is getting closer. So the drivers ahead battling is really backing him up. And now he is in the gearbox of Cox. So this could turn into a big dogfight for the lead now. Real Tsudin. His tires are 61%, so almost 10% per lap, but he still does one more. And Cox and Neil risk the undercuts. Johnny Cox in, Neil in, Simwi in, so BMC in. So the front runners now all into the pits. All of them with the undercut against Real Tsudin, and Tsudin now needs to do anything he can. Mediums for Neil, mediums for Cox, mediums for Simwi, mediums for BMC. So this is obviously the strategy to go for the soft starters. They have been ranked back by a lot, down to P13, because the field was still very close to each other. So you drop a lot of positions. Let's just stay with them. So we see ahead is Johnny Cox. Neil in his DRS window, Simwi a second behind, Simwi maybe not in the DRS window. Let's stay with them here for a moment and let's see where Real Tsudin will be back on the track then when he commits his pit stop, and I would like to suppose that Tsudin must pit in now. Yeah, Kaloum, I the same opinion as you say. I think it was a very spontaneous idea from DRS Neil to pit in. Yes, Sudin into the pits. Let's see where he will be then afterwards. 71% of tire deck for him. It looks like Neil is able to get a bit closer here over the lap towards Johnny Cox. And now, where will our overall leader come back to the track? Rayat Sudin wearing mediums now, of course. This is the start-finish straight. Where is that Sudin? There is Rayat Sudin. This is very close, and he is behind them. Very close, but the undercut worked. At least from Cox, Neil, not for Simwi. Simwi 9/10 behind that Sudin. So leader at the moment is Dean Cunha, who, have a look, was a lot better in nursing his tires. Rayat Sudin pitted in one lap earlier and had 10% more of tire deck, because Dean Cunha is now only, if you can say so, only at 61% of tire deck and still running. He still can have a lap if he wants to, but still he is on the overall slower strategy. Let's have a look what's going on here. Oh, big fighting group here. These are the midfielders, the virtual midfielders. Now they are the leaders. Cunha ahead, still on the starting tire, and all these drivers have started on mediums. This is Infamous, and next to him is Bellox, and they almost look like teammates. Ooh, there's a lot of action going on. Infamous, Slayer, Sergeant, Bellox. Bellox was ranked down a lot of positions now. He had some acceleration trouble there and therefore lost 3 positions at once. So we have 2 groups that we will have to watch, 2 groups that are of importance here. That is, first, this group. These are the medium starters. Those drivers are the ones on the better strategy. Those are the drivers that will stay ahead or will be ahead of the soft starters in the end. And those drivers, the soft starters, will have to catch up over the race. So we have to have an eye on these guys, how much time they cost each other maybe while fighting. And of course, this group here, and we've seen a position swap because Rayat Sudin overtook Neil. He's still there, wheel to wheel. Oh, wheel to wheel into turn 9. No, he backed down into the slipstream. Maybe on a surprise attack in the long hairpin here, upcoming. Nope. So this is the other group, the formerly leader, now midfielders group that we have to watch. Yeah, I know what you mean, Kaloum and Brother, but I just think that the tires just cannot take it that long. If I understand you correctly, because Dean Cunha just couldn't stay out 3 or 4 more laps. His tires were at 65%, so I know what you mean. I know that you would recommend to try and go a little bit longer and try to finish on hards, but it's just not working. We will see on Frenzy how long hards can run. Frenzy in P6, still running on his starting hards. By the way, there is not a single front wing damage yet in this race. We've not seen a single VSC or safety car. So that all speaks for the quality of L2S. And there is a big fight going on again. This is one of the groups I was mentioning. Aces versus Kings leading the way. Aces versus Kings providing the DRS for the whole train behind him. And here is Infamous battling it out with Slayer, the two boys who were tangling up in Spain just 2 weeks ago. And all the others just behind are waiting for their opponent, for their moment. Bellox maybe a bit too far away. This is Sergeant, Slayer, Infamous. All of them indirectly, as I mentioned, in the DS window of the Ace. And in the other group, this fight is going on for multiple laps now. Wheel to wheel into the turn. Oh no, Cox lost it a little bit of slide from Johnny Cox. I wanted to say for multiple laps now we see this fight, and there is someone going sideways. That's Bellox. Bellox sticking out there from the wall. The walls are far away, but they are there. You can find them, and Bellox did so. Crawling back to his pit crew now for a new nose. Yeah, so let's get things sorted out. We have seen Johnny Cox battling it with Riyad Sudin for multiple laps, and then finally there was some slight tag, wheel to wheel, I suppose, and Cox slid out just a little bit, just for a second or two, but with that little bit of slide, Neil slipped through, and Riyad Sudin has a gap of 2.5 seconds now. Pit stop, Sergeant, the first one from the yellow starters. So now for the first time, Riyad Sudin has a moment of taking a breather, of trying, at least trying, to get away from the drivers behind. This is what he's used to normally. And now Neil has Cox as a problem in his rear. Simwi is behind there somewhere too. He is not quite able to match the pace. He is fast enough to stay in the DS window, but I think that he does not have a chance to really attack. And let's have a look at the other group again. 4/10 separation between the Ace, Mo and Anand. Kaloum is shocked that he has gone to mediums. Oh yeah, if you speak about Sergeant, then you are totally right. And have a look, we have a lead change. Infamous pushing ahead over the Ace here on the outside line in the long hairpin. Slayer is having a look. And, Infamous and the Ace into the pits. Infamous, oh no, plus 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Couldn't get the brake fast enough. And yes, game tells us pit window is open for the hard stoppers, or for the one stoppers, 2 hards. Yeah, speaking about Sergeant, he is on mediums again, so this... I'm not sure if that was an error, or, in case Thomas Walsh is still with us, if he does the same as Walsh did just yesterday. That would mean there could be some rain inbound very, very late. We now have... the telemetry tool still rules it as a sunny race. Slayer in the lead now, still on his starting set, 11 laps old, 55% degradation, so he can still run on it a few laps. And have a look who's behind him. Riyad Sudin already behind him, who just pushed ahead of hard starter Frenzy. And then 3 seconds on Neil, Simwi and Johnny Cox, who is trying to make up his slide. I think it was right here, somewhere here in this section. And for some reason, Simwi overtook Cox. Behind, Serious Mushroom is now into the pits. Serious Mushroom, 11 laps on the mediums. He'll go to hards now. Yes, he does. We'll finish the race on it. We are at the halfway mark. Not a single DNF. Not a single safety car. Good race. Quality race thus far here tonight. And Rayatsurin is back in the lead. So he did what the soft starters have to do, cut through the field. Surin is now ahead of Slayer, and they're both still in need of one pit stop. So the pit stop situation has equalized between them. So this could be for the race victory. Oh, Slayer, very wide lane here into the pits, very cautiously then braking. Slayer into the pits. Let's stay with him for a moment and let's see where he will be on the track then afterwards. He was around Infamous Aces versus Kings earlier. Dropping a lot of positions now, of course. Infamous is already through. Aces versus Kings is likewise. So if Infamous and Aces versus Kings can be quick enough, they might have a chance for a podium. Sounds a bit weird if I say so for a P12 runner or P13 or P14. But we saw where Slayer just came from. Yeah, Tom Walsh, Frenzy should come in. Yeah, I'm having a look into the telemetry tool. And what can I tell you? Where is he? Where is he? Ah, yeah, there he is, but he didn't set his telemetry to public. So sadly, I cannot tell you about the tire wear for Frenzy. Anyway, he is now 13 laps on his hards. We've seen, I think it was Slayer, who was 12 laps long on mediums. So this is more or less it. So more or less 50-50 you can go between hards and mediums. Slight favor towards the hard side, of course. So, what's going on? Where are our groups? We see Johnny Cox and Simwee still close. This is Johnny Cox, Simwee, Neil ahead, and then Frenzy. And I think Frenzy might be holding up all these drivers here. Doing Rayatsurin, of course, a big favor. As we are already over the halfway mark, let's have a short glimpse at the penalty seconds. Could not keep up with them. And a handful of +3s. +5 for Cunha. 8 for Infamous. Yeah, so it's still quite okay. A lot of... Oh, Simwee! Simwee lost it! Simwee with acceleration troubles. And he got penalized. He just caught out his car and he got penalized for catching his car. And Frenzy now in the pits. The hard starter into the pits. There he is. Yeah, in mediums. White to yellow. He'll finish the race on this set. Let's see where he will be situated then. Uh-oh, serious mushroom in serious mushroom internet troubles. I suppose he will be ghosted now. I hope that he can return very soon. He is one of the drivers on the better strategy, so there could still be some points in for him, but he needs to return soon now. There he is, you can see he is ghosted. And you can really hear it, how slow the AI is driving his car. So he is losing incredible much time now. Just cross my fingers for the Toad that he can return very, very soon. And here we are with our leader as we are getting into the final third of this race. Reatsudin is leading the field into lap 17. And behind they are already pitting again. This is Cox, Simwi, Landabot, BMC, and Official, and Chappie. So another moment of pit lane hectic here. Let's see where they will be ranked backwards then. Johnny Cox down to P9. 9. Then Frenzy. Simwi behind Frenzy. That is maybe a problem for Simwi. Maybe Frenzy will hold him up, so Cox might be able to run away now. So this is the final situation now. Oh no, let's wait one more lap, I suppose, when then the other front runners have pitted, when Sudin, Neil, Casto and Cunha have come in. At least I suppose that they will do so very soon. Yeah, hello Serious Mushroom, nice to have you chatting with us. But if you're chatting with us, I suppose that means that you are unable to rejoin. That is very sad, because you were on the better strategy, so I suppose that there were a few points grabbable for you, but not, of course, if you have to watch yourself. So here we are, pit stop, DRS Neil. Does Casto pit into? Nope. Another lap for Casto and another lap for Reatsudin. Reatsudin 63% DAG on his mediums. Is he maybe gambling to stay out a lap longer and then turn to softs again? That might only work if he has a totally fresh set of softs left. And same probably goes for Mr. Casto France. Then we see Infamous, Slayer and Aces vs King. Those are the drivers from the midfields. The drivers who had free choice of starting tire, and have a look. They have crawled up a lot of positions. And they will get even 3 more positions as soon as Sudin, Casto and Cunha have pitted. And the big question then will be, can they defend themselves well enough against the storming drivers like Cox, like Neil, like Simbi, like BMC, like maybe Landabot and maybe even Official. Yeah, Official is a bit far away, 4.7 seconds. But those drivers, they will storm at them from behind. And pitting for Casto and Sudin and Cunha. Yeah, no risks for Sudin, fresh mediums. Ah, Casto gambles, Casto France, softs. Cunha did not gamble. Cunha will finish the race on a set of fresh mediums, ranked down to P14. So A lot of positions to regain if he wants to get some points, and this was what I mentioned about this awkward pit exit. Casto and official tangled there for a second. So, and Real Sudin is already back in the lead. Real Sudin was so fast. Only this man, only Sargent overtook him, but that did not take too long, and Sudin is already back in the lead. Real Sudin, the pudding. He is just too fast for anyone here in this league. He will probably win the third consecutive race in a row, celebrating a hat-trick. Only this man, Johnny Cox, maybe had a slight chance. They were tangling for multiple laps, but in the end he had to let him go after a moment of contact. Not a big one, not a big issue, not a big damage, but enough to slide out of the battle. So Infamous, for an example, he is running on hards, 34% of deck, Slayer 24%, so they can easily go through. They will not be faster, of course, than the mediums around them. Aces versus Kings already had to bow to Johnny Cox. And now has to drop a position to Neil. And Zimwi is not too far away either, so Zimwi, the next medium runner, who will try to make it uncomfortable for the ace in the next laps. And in the lead, Real Sudin has already been driving away for 3.5 seconds from Sargent. Wow. Really, wow. And behind, this is the big battle now for the podium. This is Sargent providing DRS to everyone. Then, have a look. Mohamed Infamous in 4th. Anand Tanki, the Slayer, and 5th. Jonathan Cox. Late pit stop from Sargent now. That drops him maybe out of the points. Yeah, Sargent... Yeah, out of the points, will try to run to the end on softs. So this is the battle now. This is the battle for the podium, and there's even one more man in. That's Neil. And if the drivers ahead are tangling too long, maybe it's Simwi into the discussion too. So DRS here for everyone. I think Johnny Cox was a little bit slow to opening up, and Slayer already ahead of Infamous. Better tires, the mediums for Cox, Neil, Simwi, while Slayer and Infamous need to make the best out of it to get through the race on their hards. Yeah, and Slayer, Slayer was sacrificing his track position in the qualifying for a good thing. Now he is in the battle for second. Oh no, Johnny Cox has tagged Infamous here in Sector 3. Oh no. And Infamous dropped down to P8 only. Oh, that is very sad, very, very sad. Only 4 points now in the grasp anymore for Infamous. And with the hearts, I suppose he will not make it any better. Official is out. Yeah, Official has parked his car in the garage. He gave up on this race. That is sad for him. He quits it. He calls it a night. Johnny Cox already apologizes himself. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you raced while apologizing in the group chat, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. That's at least what I say. So this is now down to a threesome battle here between Cox, Neil, and Slayer. And just as wished, as always, late in the race here are the penalty seconds. The tire strategy should be done ahead. We see Neil and Slayer tangling intensely. And Rayat Sudin is not only fast, but he is penalty free. So really zero discussion about who has deserved the victory the most here tonight. Then, yeah, in the right this battle, penalty seconds will be an important thing because Slayer and Neil match each other, but Johnny Cox 9 seconds of penalty, that will be a big problem for him. And momentarily Neil is through again. Neil on the faster medium tire, Slayer on the old hard. But now Slayer is in the DRS favor. And here's the next attack in the DS zone. No chance yet. No chance yet. Because Slayer is DRS equipped too. And in the end, yeah, I think that Johnny Cox knows that with 9 seconds of penalties he will not have a big chance for a podium. As long as Slayer or Neil shouldn't commit a big mistake and drop behind a lot of positions, and Simwee will have to drop back too or pick up yet another penalty. And let's see where then the Ace and Frenzy will be ranked at. Frenzy now +3 too. That could have been a chance for Frenzy if he would have been able to stay penalty free. The Aces versus Kings, he could be ranked upwards a lot of positions in the end. And this is not the next attack, not yet. Infamous is the penalties king at the moment with 11 seconds. So, yeah. No matter if he was tagged from Cox, he would probably not have a chance for a podium in general. But of course now he'll drop back even further and will probably not receive points in the end. So Rayat Sudin is 8.7 seconds away, so there's really no discussion about him for the last 3.5 laps. And this group is still fighting. Especially the battle. Oh, have a look. Simwee now at 9 seconds too. So Cox and Simwee match each other penalty wise. So that means that Cox will not drop a position to Simwee at least. And Slayer and Neil will match each other's penalties too. Slayer is able to. No, not anymore. Slayer, is he able to stay inside the 1 second window? Neil is looking like he would be drive away a little bit. And as soon as Slayer is out of the DRS window, I think he will be chewed up by Johnny Cox. So what else? What is important on the track? There is another group. Let's jump here. This is BMC who just pushed ahead of Landobot over Infamous. And I think Landobot too. He's right behind. Landobot getting closer even though Infamous does have DRS too. Did you hear that? Infamous lifted. Infamous let Landobot through. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe Infamous thought to himself, okay, I have so many penalties, I'll not get any kind of points at all. But Landerbot has 0 penalties, so if Landerbot can close up a little bit more, he could get ranked ahead. Yeah, well, there's a big gap. There's a big gap behind BMC. Yeah, I think the situation is more or less settled everywhere. We are now in the last 1.5 laps. This battle is still ongoing. Neil now is more or less ahead, still providing DRS to Slayer, but Slayer is too far away to really consider an attack, while Cox is close enough, but he will be ranked behind Slayer anyway with the penalty situation. I am really intrigued where Aces versus Kings will be ranked then in the end. Yep, Tom Walsh, this is really fantastic racing. The L2S community is definitely the best and most competitive racing league I have ever worked with. And that is, yeah, one of the big reasons that makes my heart bleed, because in just 3 or 4 more minutes I sadly will have to pull out of L2S. There was a bit of tangling. Yeah, so the L2S community with Tier1 and Tier 2 with up and down gradings between the tiers, so there's always something to battle for, even though if you are last in the season. And the L2S community is working together with the homepage. Have to look it up. IGK-TAS.fr, so their home race, to provide race telemetry, where I can look into. There wasn't a lot to look into here tonight, but generally that is a really cool tool, and all of that really makes my heart bleed, as we are now in the last lap of the 5th race here in season 3. And this group has settled it, so it looks like everything is decided here, at least for the moment, and then the penalties will do the rest. For the moment, there is one thing we are getting used to, more or less, so the hat-trick. 3rd time in a row. He was inactive 2 races, now he was back for 3 races, and for those 3 he won all of them. And now, once again, congratulations, no one else but Mr. Riyad Surin to win the L2S French Grand Prix in Les Castellets. And then with a massive gap of 12.5 seconds, DRS Neil in his first race for L2S onto the podium. Congrats to that too. And Slayer finishes in 3, and then it will get wild penalty-wise. Yes, the ace already jumping up and into 4th. Frenzy is even 6. Wow. So we will see a lot of ups and downs. Infamous is being ranked downwards. And, just stayed ahead of Sargent by 61 thousandths. Incredible. We will then see the final result after penalties in just a moment. In the end, I can tell you that Castor France finished the race with a tire degradation of 78% on his softs. So he took a gamble. He was one of just 2 who tried to finish it on softs in the end. And it barely worked. It almost worked. And he got at least 1 point for it. We are still waiting for this man, Mr. Ballox. Crossing the checkered flag. That's the last driver. Not the last in the grid, but the last to... he is the last, yeah. 16th, he is the last. Yeah, thank you, Kaloum. Thank you very much. I'll try to sort some personal words out in just a moment. Just right now, let's enjoy the winners' podium and then have a look at the final results after penalties. So here we are, the final result after penalties. Rayad Sudin has won just once again, ahead of Tier1 Neil, and in third, the Slayer. Fourth is Aces versus Kings. Have a look where he went to up into P4 then. Fifth, Johnny Cox. Sixth, Frenzy. Good race for him, considering that he started on P17. P7 then Zimwi, 8, Landabot 9, BMC 10th, Castle France 11, Infamous P12, Mr. Sargent 13, our host Dean Cunha 14, Chappie 15 with some internet connection troubles, Serious Mushroom, Bellox who posted the fastest lap in P16, and the only driver who did not finish is the champion of Season 1, Mr. Official. Yeah, thank you very much, Kaloum. Thank you very much, Proliver. Thank you, everyone else in the L2S community. It was a pleasure tonight, not only tonight, but all the other weeks before. And as I mentioned it earlier, I very, very sadly will have to pull out, at least for the moment, real life commitments returning as life gets more or less back to normal. This is at least how it looks like at the moment. You know it, how things are in these days. It's everything's very unstable, so things can change quickly. Things can get rescheduled. Things can get cancelled very fast and easily. So I don't know, how this will hold up, or how long this will take, or how the next weeks will look like, but at least for the moment now it looks like that I sadly cannot commit to doing broadcasts on Thursday evenings anymore, and I don't want the L2S community to be with an unreliable broadcaster, so you deserve someone who commits to it. And thanks for having me for the last almost 9 months. It was really, really cool. A big pleasure, big honor for me to do so. It was really fun for me too. And you never know how the future will go by. Maybe we will see us again. Hopefully we will see us again. Maybe there will be some mutual needs in autumn or something like that. And then that could be a Zeb Bauer stint 2.0 for L2S. Maybe we will know we will see what time will bring. For the moment, thank you very much. And I think it is King Eskimo who just popped up in the chat. I think that he's the one who will take over. All the best to you, of course. Good luck, Mr. Eskimo. Good luck all the drivers for the rest of the season. Have a good start to the F1 21 in just approximately 6 weeks from now. And what else can I say? Thanks for having me. Goodbye. Stay safe in these times. And of course, most important, keep racing.